Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the Tooniverse. How's everybody doing today? I see JT's here already. How you doing, JT? How you been? How was your first game session with the can op? Looked like a lot of fun. I was stuck at work, but looked like a lot of fun, man, for sure. What up, Mason? What's going on? So, while I was at lunch today, um, what's up, Grunt? Oh God. Good for you, educated grunt. Good for you. Good for you. Uh, I'm glad, man. The C8R is a fantastic little ship, man. It's one of my favorites. It was actually one of the first ships I ever showed off on stream. Called it my little wee woo. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. I was flying around doing that on stream. It was hilarious. Oh, dude, playing Overwatch with randoms is rough. Um, just keep your head up, do your best. There's a lot you can learn from yourself and what other people are doing in that game. I think the hardest part in that game is learning when to push, when to pull back, and the overall learning to control the chaos. So, Mason, I hope the coffee's nice and warm this morning for you. Hope the lady's doing well and the little kiddo is cooking in the oven is doing good. Not in the little literal oven. His girl's pregnant. So I this came across my YouTube feed while I was on lunch, and I watched the first couple of minutes of it, and it really, what's the word I want to use? Kind of got me riled up. It really did. It kind of got me riled up. I know not everybody here is in chat is super into Star Citizen, and those that are here may not be super into the PvP scene like I am, but there was some things said in the initial moments of this video, and I really, really wanted to share it with you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that. Um, why is it not showing my interwebs? No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want settings for screens. Come on, where is it? There we go. Had to reload it. There we go. Ah, very nice. I don't know if it was the med runners, but I had a run in with me and my buddy Star, and I'll keep the rest of his um, name out of it for now. But we went to go bust somebody in a bunker and found out he was dead. And we tried to we jumped the med guys coming in, and it turned into a gigantic mess to the point where we took out a few of their ships, took out a few of them on the ground. We tried extorting a few of them. It didn't work out. The guy ended up ultimately backspacing. We flew around a little bit longer. We found an A2, stole the A2, bombed the guys that departed the A2 in their little Nova tank. Then we destroyed the A2. We went to another bunker, and what was weird is we're 99% sure that the people that were doing the medical rescue set an ambush for us, because we showed up there. There was one Hornet on the ground. We went to go hit the bunker, and a Nova tank suddenly comes around from the back. we tried to take it out with rail guns, but we were unsuccessful. But we damaged it to the point where the guys inside of it bailed out, and well, yeah, it turned into a big long firefight involving more ships. It was just two of us on the ground. More ships came in, we shot them down. A couple of guys came out of the bunker, we killed them. Guys in the tank, we killed them. They were searching around for us. We shot down another one of their ships, and then they sent in an A2 to nuke us, and that's how they got us out of there. Before we play this, the updates that I am getting from across the verse from multiple discords. So I'm in the Stars Discord. I'm in One Nuts Discord. Chaos Collective and a few others, and they none of them are having very much success. Most of my normal streaming guys that stream during this hour, none of them are. 1 out of 5 of them are in. Everybody else is playing different games, whether they're streaming or just in their discords playing different games. So we could be in for a rough night. I'm going to give it a shot anyways. We'll see. So we're going to get on to this video. Like I said, I'm a PvP guy, and more realistically, I'm a pirate. So, we'll see what this is all about. I know what part of it's about, and as I said, it kind of got my blood boiling a little bit. Now, I don't disrespect this guy's opinion, but I don't agree with a lot of what he says. So just let me know in chat if the volume is not high enough or too high on the video. And I like Ray. He's got some good videos out there. I've watched not all of his stuff, but I've watched some of his stuff, and it's pretty good stuff. And he's got a golden radio voice. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, whether you agree with it or not.
Hello, this is Daniel Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide, and I thought that with 3.18 inching closer to live release, I would update my thoughts on PvP with it in mind, because 3.18 will change PvP in ways that it won't really be evident until we see it going.
Number one thing, I hate that he's got the global chat up and recording a video. Now, if you're streaming, that's one thing, and you're clipping it out of a stream, that's another thing, but I try to make sure that when I record videos, I don't have global chat up. That's neither here nor there. He can do with that as he wish.
Going weeks without a new patch resetting the database. Let me start with clarifying what I mean by certain terms. PvP is any game activity which pits one player's skill directly against another player's skill. This is opposed to game activities which pit a player's skill against a challenge created by the game, PvE. Pretty much any activity that people will care about, they will eventually want to show off who is better than who. This is normal human being thing. Game designers will need to come up with a way that is constructive to the game, or players will come up with a way to do it anyhow that won't be so constructive for the game. Now, there are some antisocial forms of gameplay which technically fall under PvP, but isn't actually about players pitting their skills against each other. The first are players who are simply having fun out of making others miserable. Who is actually better than who is irrelevant. In fact, if they can get a cheese win, it is all the better because it makes the other person even more angry. I call this sadistic gameplay. It is not saying that all PvP players are sadistic, but clearly there is an antisocial subset of them that are. And then there are folks who aren't necessarily playing to make one person miserable, but to make the whole game suffer. This antisocial subset of PvP are basically saying the game is lame, and if I can't win, I will beat the game by destroying it and make sure nobody else can enjoy it either. It's the computer version equivalent of kicking over the table in a tantrum. I call this sociopathic gameplay. And again, not all, but it is an antisocial subset of PvP. The thing about sadistic and sociopathic gamers is you can't correct them with the usual levers of game design, the carrots and sticks.
So this really kind of legit makes me upset. He says it's a subset. but he's really saying that anybody that engages in PvP, and this is my opinion, is sociopathic or an introvert or antisocial, and that's not true. That is not true at all. Most PvPers, okay, if you are in the verse and somebody's hanging out around the station shooting people down, they're looking for a challenge. They're looking for a challenge. Yeah, I know it sucks for some people. They come out and they get blasted. I've gone over it ad nauseum, and maybe I'll do it again on my channel. I did a Space Shorts interview, and there is a lot of different ways to not even get yourself involved in a fight. There's a lot of different ways to not get yourself involved in a fight. I'm not going to go through the big giant list here, but I did a damn near 3-hour interview with Space Shorts, and there's so many different ways to not get yourself involved in a fight. Maybe in a little bit I'll put the link up to that, so if anybody wants to watch that. But we went over at a huge list that I created for his Discord and his group, because they're mostly industrial players, on ways to not get caught with your pants down, basically, and ways to fight back. It's not hard. It really isn't. But I'm going to let him continue.
That is because to them, everything in the game is lame and irrelevant to them. The only choice is either hope that they'll get bored and leave, or ban them. Now, piracy, separately from PvP, is a career path.
So you want people banned for participating in PvP? That's just as bad as third-party reporting, in my opinion. That kind of mindset. People, this is a open world, sandbox, open universe, whatever you want to call it, sandbox game, where CIG has legitimately said that unless you're pan-ramming, unless you're chasing somebody server to server, unless you're literally spawn camping them, which I didn't like that take, but that's neither here nor there. Not that it's fair game. You want to put up a bogus medical beacon and have medical teams come in to try to attempt to rescue, and you're shooting them down and whatever, kidnapping them, extorting them, whatever the case may be. It's legitimate gameplay. CIG has said that. It's not sociopathic. There's more than one way to play this game, and that, to me, it seems like he wants only one way to play that game, and that's him and to be left alone. I could be wrong. Let's see what else he's got to say.
In which advancement is gained by stealing from ships either by force or trickery. Piracy has always been an advertised gameplay element in Star Citizen, but until 3.18, there really hasn't been much actual.
That's no. No. There has been plenty of piracy before 3.18. Plenty of piracy. Just because there weren't certain mechanics involved doesn't mean it wasn't legitimate piracy. Piracy is piracy. Extortion is part of piracy. Kidnapping is part of piracy. Sometimes in the olden days, if you denied pirates and you put up a fight, well, guess what? Your ship got sank. That wasn't the ultimate goal. They were trying to get on your ship and take the stuff. But if they gave you a chance, they raised the colors and they came at you and you started firing at them, well, guess what they're going to do? They're going to fire back. If you run, they're going to chase. There's nothing sociopathic about that. There's nothing psychopathic about that. They're not. Sometimes I wish people would open a book. There's been plenty of books written on piracy in the golden age of piracy. This is ludicrous.
Game behind it. As a result, a lot of stuff has been excused as piracy when it was just shooting up ships for fun. Imagine if mining allowed you to blow up rocks but not actually get any ore out of them. That was kind of the state of piracy in most of Star Citizen 3.
Okay, once again, with no threat of being able to stop you down. Have I run across a bully? I've run across a few. Not like anything crazy, but yeah, I've run across a couple of bullies. This is going to be a hot take, but I think Avenger 1 is a big bully. And I think he's a kind of a, I think he's a sore loser and a sore winner. That's what I think. But what this guy is saying is not true. With if you wanted to participate in piracy and actually board a ship in 317, okay, let's talk about ships the size of a Caterpillar or a C2 or a Carrack or a Connie Taurus or any one of those large haulers that's worth hitting because you know they got a ton of money worth of goods on them, whether they're cargo running, whether they're quantanium, it doesn't matter. In 317, distortions were nerfed to nothing. You couldn't do anything with them. You couldn't do anything with distortions. EMPs did so little distortion damage that you needed, I think it was Mongrel Squad or another one of those pirate groups, very large, organized, org-based pirate groups. I think they said it took 15 to 18 EMP blasts to shut down a C2, a Caterpillar, or even a Connie for 30 seconds. That's all you got. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And then everything was turning back on. And then you had to start all over again. And they didn't give us the tools. Yeah, they kind of half-assed the tool bag for us. But we have the Mantis, we have the Cuddy Blue. That stops you and or pulls you out of quantum. Or, as I said, it stops you from going into quantum, or it pulls you out of quantum. We have EMPs, we have distortions. Look, CIG only gave us a half-full tool bag, but that didn't mean that guys like Mongrel Squad weren't doing full-blown piracy, getting a C2 to stop, going inside and taking goods, or taking out the pilot and taking it to a place and selling it. There was legitimate piracy going on. Now, if you didn't stop for them, well, guess what they were going to do? They were going to shoot you down. Why? Because there needs to be a threat. If there's no threat, then why pay? What's up, Marcus? If there's no threat, then why, there has to be a threat in order for somebody to pay. And I'm getting tired of well, it's not fair. Well, you have guns. You have different ways to fly. You can get away from them, or you can just keep your eyes open, and when you start seeing a bunch of ships come in, it's probably time to run. Now, let's get back to what he said. I really disagree with before 318 there was no legitimate piracy. Yes, there was.
3.0 through 3.17. And some people just justified purely statistic things as saying, hey, piracy is part of the game. But not in 3.18. In 3.18, thanks to a lot of work by CIG, we have a real piracy feature set in the game. There is disabling, there is boarding, there is looting, there is even stealing the ship itself. Or at least...
Let me see if he's got one more point.
Its hull, and there is a clear path for those...
Let me back that up just a little bit.
The feature set in the game. There is disabling.
Existed in 317. I'm only a year old into this game. A year into playing this game. You could disable a ship. Was it hard? Yes, it was. Could you use distortions to do it? No. Could you use EMPs? Yeah. Were you given very much time? No.
There is boarding.
Could you do that in 317? And yeah. Yeah, you could. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is looting. There
Could you do that in 317? To a degree, yeah.
is even stealing the ship itself.
And you could do that in 317. This is one of my favorite things to do. That was one of my favorite things to do in 317 was to steal other people's ships. I could do it at Jumptown, if you left it at a bunker, if you... Basically, if you left it anywhere, I could get into it. The only other problem would be Armistice. But Canup kind of showed me how to do that in Armistice Zone too, so... You leave a ship somewhere and I want it, I'm going to take it. It's just too bad there's nowhere to sell it.
Itself, or at least its hull, and there is a clear path for those things to be expanded on in the future. So we now have a justification called BS on anybody using piracy to justify
I call it your Care Bear attitude BS, Ray. Like, look, I like you and I liked a couple of the videos you put out, but your take here is completely BS. First you called PvPers psychopaths and sociopaths, and now you're saying that anything that we were doing in 317.1 or 317 and before was not legitimate piracy when it was very obviously legitimate piracy. Once again, I implore you to open up a book and read what old piracy was like. It was extortion, it was blackmail, it was kidnapping, it was torture, it was boarding, it was stealing cargo. And at the last measure, if you didn't obey what they wanted or didn't do what they wanted, they sank your ass. So there is no difference. CIG has said it before, they wanted this to mimic real life, which is why bogus medical beacons are not considered griefing and not considered banning, a bannable offense. We've gone round and round with this on other people before. It's not griefing.
Antisocial behavior. You're not pirates. We have piracy, we know what it looks like, and it is not what you were doing. So your behavior does not have any sort of protected status because piracy is allowed in the game. But much more than just piracy is being opened up. As I've said for a long time, the primary PvP structure in Star Citizen, if it's going to be successful, can't be predators versus prey. Because
that's what it's like in real life. Lions eat zebras. Do you think the zebra starts running around screaming, "Stop biting me, griefer"?
Because being prey isn't fun. It instead needs to be predators versus protectors, with the prey instead being more like the prize. And frankly, there has been a lot opened up for the role of the protector in 3.18, and I'm not so much talking about the constant escort, because that is indeed tedious, a gameplay where success means nothing happened. But
if you don't have escorts, that's your fault. Whenever I've brought this up in other chats, they always tell me they always tell me, well, it cuts into my profits. You know what else is going to cut into your profits? A pirate getting on your ship and stealing your stuff, or a pirate not having a good day and dealing with your BS because you won't stop, or you started firing on them. They're just going to blow your ass up and take your stuff anyways.
Rather, the emergency piracy response team. We've seen an emergent gameplay surrounding combat medic teams, and I see that as a potential template for the piracy response team. And part of the reason for this is that there's a lot more that a player can offer the rescuers than before. They can be offered a share of the cargo that's being recovered, and they can be offered the rights to salvage the hull, plus any bounties on the defeated pirates and salvaging their hulls too. And with persistence, this can be extended over more than one game session, and even have back and forth control struggles between the pirate group and the protector group, even if the original owner of the freighter is no longer present. There's a lot of room for emergent gameplay in the umbrella of pirates versus protectors. Now, what would a team of players wanting to do this role of pirate response team look like? perhaps as an expansion of their current role of doing medical response. Well, they would need a craft capable to readily defeat or scare off most pirate teams.
Now, I do like his idea here of, having like a, like almost like a medical beacon, but a beacon for people to come and rescue you from pirates. I still think it's your fault if you're being pirated. I mean, there's a reason why in real life, right now, if you go a little too close to the eastern side of Africa and you're in a yacht, you're probably going to get attacked by pirates. I'm not saying it's the fault of the yachts. Well, yeah, actually, I am. It's the fault of the yachts for getting a little too close to an area they shouldn't be in. They have no security, no firearms, no nothing to protect themselves. Somalis or whatever national group of the day is going to come in and try to pirate you, kidnap you, and then hold you for ransom. And you know what? They're probably going to either sell your yacht or they're going to explode it because they have no use for it. Oh, wait, that's griefing. Sorry.
Ideally, one that could also support counterboarding actions, help in the offloading and recovering of cargo, and have a medical facility to be able to heal any casualties happening during the action. Have you guessed what I'm thinking about? In my opinion, it's a fully crewed carrack with a
Oh my god.
Pisces. Would be the idea.
Oh my god. This is ridiculous. You're going to bring a fully crewed carrack to a pirate fight where there's probably 15 or more ships, or at this point, less than that, because soft deathing is just as easy as disabling a ship, and you're telling me that you think you're going to fly in there with a carrack and you're not going to get your ass blown out of the water, and then the only thing you have fighter-wise to protect you is a Pisces. Tell me you've never done combat. This is ridiculous. I mean, he has played SC before, but the carrack is not the answer. The carrack, I mean, I'd rather bring in an A2 or a Connie or anything but a carrack. I would not be bringing a carrack to that fight. This is not a ship that you bring to this fight.
Ideal ship for such a team, with perhaps a vulture or even a reclaimer on call for the hull scraping.
Oh my god. So your three ships that you're going to bring to a pirate fight are a reclaimer, a vulture, and a carrack. Oh my god. How you doing, Space Hound? I didn't see you there. Thanks for coming on in. By the way, anybody that's in here right now, if you could please hit that like button, maybe sub for some more awesome 318 content once that patch gets stabilized, I'd appreciate it.
Both of the original derelict and all those sad ex-pirate ships. And rather than just sitting around and waiting for the phone to ring, they might take PvE bounty and bunker missions to help keep the coin flowing and the skills honed. So what could CIG do to support this kind of gameplay? Well, one suggestion I've made...
Oh my god, like for real, dude, this is hurting my brain right now. Like, I still can't get over the fact that your pirate response team is a fully crewed carrack, a vulture, a reclaimer, and a Pisces. Do you know what, like, the Scorpio, I'm not a fan of it, but people are going to use it to do it with. Do you know what a Scorpius Antares, a Cuddy Blue, a couple of Titan Warlocks, and probably a handful of Gladiuses are going to do to this thing? Oh boy.
Made in the past is to make creating a combat assistance beacon be as simple as a hotkey. The MobiGlass app would be used to set the default reward. And if they wanted to take it a step further, the system could create a list of all the hostiles nearby and their ships, so anybody accepting the combat assistance beacon would know what they are getting into. Also, if there are any available bounty contracts on the hostiles nearby, to add them to the reward, and accepting the combat assistant beacon also accepts the bounty hunting contracts, adding to the value. And it isn't even as though the new piracy features are the only PvP item added to 3.18.
Okay. I like his idea for the beacon. I really do. I think it's a cool idea. But there's a couple of things here we got to discuss. Number one, how's it going to, when you put up a beacon, and let's say it's a couple of prospectors, or let's say it's, I don't know, a C2 with already 2 or 3 escorts, and pirates show up. When you put that beacon up, how is it going to determine friend from foe, pirate from protector, as he says? How is it going to divvy out that money once the contract is complete? How do we know when the contract is complete? When they all run away? Or when they all are exploded and dead? When does the contract end? When the cargo's secure? When the cargo's been taken back from the pirates? Like, at what point does the contract end and the protectors get their payout? So there's a couple of things here that need to be worked out. Yes, I know he's theory crafting, but how are we gonna, how are we gonna do that?
There's also Security Post Korea, which at least can be a great PvP playground. And that Korea represents a prototype of a whole new type of mission, retake location, which will undoubtedly be used to create even more locations for PvP action as we go forward. So in summary, there is a lot of piracy gameplay being added in 3.18 as well as counter-piracy gameplay.
But there was piracy pre-3.18. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, I don't understand this. Why does he keep saying 3.18 piracy? There was piracy beforehand. Mongrel Squad and several other groups have proven over the years that this was that you could do it, that you could board ships, that you could steal their stuff, that you could steal their ship and go and sell stuff out of it. This is not new gameplay. And to say that anything prior to 3.18 isn't real piracy and we were just a bunch of psychopaths, it's to me, it's a pretty backhanded comment. Like, you're slapping us in the face for us playing the game that we want to play. Look, I bet you this guy's never been even pirated. I've once again, I'll shoot up the link here in a little bit, and I believe I asked Space Shorts during the live stream too, how many times have you been pirated? He said he's been pirated maybe 2-3 times in the last 2 years. So it's not like there's a whole huge group of marauding pirates hitting everybody in the verse. That's not what it's like.
So we can call BS on the whole lot of frankly nonsense behavior being justified by saying, hey, it's piracy. It's not, never was, and now we have the real thing available.
And I call your Care Bear take BS. You can have your opinion, but I can still call it BS. This really gets me a little upset.
Now for an update.
And not in a literal way, like I'm not really upset, but it's a stupid thing to say, in my opinion.
Update on our giveaways. We now have 2 ship giveaways and 1 skills contest. The first is the 10,000 subscriber thank you for the LTI Hull C, the colossal cargo container carrying craft, to be given away as soon as the sea becomes flyable in the verse. And then there's our big giveaway for the winner's choice of either the Galaxy Complete, the massive modular mining moving medical machine, or that brand new big box bargain bazaar called the Merchantman.
And you're giving away ships that aren't even out yet. Okay.
Entry per video for both of those drawings. Just be a member and subscribe and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is pirates versus what? Plus, we have, perhaps for not much longer, our waiting for 3.18 piloting skills contest for the most amazing landing of a ship Hercules size or larger in 3.17. See the video in description for details on that. Fly safe. Keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Danny Raymond for Ray's Guide.
What is going on? What is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? Look, I'm not making fun of his recording, but this is a really bad recording. What is he doing? What is this guy doing? Okay. JT, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, yeah, let me find that other video. This is, in my opinion, this was a whole bunch of nonsense. Let's see what the comments say real quick. Yeah, that's cool. Bullshit. It's all about the Pirates versus Protector gameplay that he suggested and whatnot, but for the most part, this is just, it's really stupid. There is a really fast way of calling for backup. It's called global chat. Okay, I can't look at that anymore. Yeah. So, if anybody here wants to see how you keep yourself from getting pirated, me and Space Shorts go over an entire 3 hours worth of a list, and there was even more on that list that didn't even make it in there. So if you guys like to take a look at that, go ahead and take a look at that. But this is, yeah, I don't know, man. Like this was kind of stupid in my opinion. Like, he's allowed to have his opinion, I'm allowed to have my opinion, but straight out calling pirates psychopaths, PvPers psychopaths. There's what people can't compete. People can't shoot at other ships because every ship in this game has guns. Every ship in the game has guns. You can fight back in every ship. Are you gonna be able to school a fully a two-man Scorpius in your Aurora or a Titan? Unless you're one of the best pilots in the verse, probably not. But you can still fight back. It's not like I don't know, like even zebras have a way to defend themselves, whether it's the stripes to a kick it to the head. Zebras can defend themselves. Hippos can defend. Every animal can defend themselves. So, I think this is a little bit kind of on the dumb side to be saying that we're all psychopaths and pirating never existed until 318, and everything that we did beforehand was not really pirating, because it was. It's getting kind of late. Maybe we'll Maybe we'll react to it instead of trying to load into the verse and get ourselves going, which is going to take 15-20 minutes. And I'll have to get off anyways because I got to wake up early in the morning for the kiddos. Maybe we can look at... We'll look at this for a minute.
Hey people, Fernando doing another video for the channel, and yes, time again to talk about Star Citizen. Now, quick answer to your question. Is it still worth playing? It's still worth your 45 bucks. Let's leave it at that. I mean, this is the same thing I've been saying all along. 45 bucks, get yourself the cheapest ship in game, don't spend a single cent more. Be warned, the marketing strategy that they have is, best in the industry. They will convince you that you need to buy this cool ship. Trust me, they're mostly broken. Most of them simply don't work as you would expect.
That's not true. That's a pretty disingenuous comment right there. Like, look, I don't like CIG's marketing. I don't like them preying on FOMO. That I agree with. But all the ships that come out are broken or don't work. That's very disingenuous. Are there some ships out there that have problems? Yeah, there is. Are there ships that don't have any gameplay loops? Yeah, there is. But are they all broken? No, they're not. Do they not work? No, they work.
You don't want to know what it feels like to spend 200 real live money dollars in a ship and then realize that the following day it's broken and it's gonna stay.
Marcus, you're probably the most game knowledge person in here right now. Outside of the MSR, which I know has its problems with the seat, is there any ship that is broken or unflyable that is cash monies right now, other than concepts? Okay, you got us there, JT, but we're talking about ships. Is there a single ship that you can think of for cash that straight out doesn't work? Like he's saying, like it's broken. I can't think of one.
Broken for several years. You don't want to go through that. So believe me that yes, worth playing still. I wouldn't be doing the video if it's not. But it's worth only your 45 bucks. If you want to spend 50, get yourself a cutter or whatever it is, that's up to you. If you want to go spend $10,000 in this thing, be my guest, right? It's just your money, but for most mortals, it's simply not worth it. And I would even argue that even if you do have, insane amounts of money and you can just spend anything you want without even blinking, I would still encourage you not to, because it is encouraging the company not to do their job. And let me explain why this is.
I also think that's a little disingenuous. The company, this company is wrought with mismanagement from the top down. Look, Chris Roberts could barely finish a movie. He's had 2 games taken from him and only used as a consultant because he never finished it on time. I think he's full of really good ideas, but I also think that he mismanages this team. I don't think this is not a developer issue. This isn't guys that you see on Inside Star Citizen that are actually doing the coding and the programming and everything else that goes into this game. It's not a them problem. It's a management problem. They're being mismanaged. They're doing the job that they're supposed to be doing or that they're being told to do, but if management is mismanaging, well, things don't get done in a timely manner or things don't get done right. So that's a mismanagement thing, not a developer thing. But
has gotten to a point where Star Citizen is simply a business. And you may be thinking, yes, Fernando, all businesses are just businesses. All companies are mostly inclined in making money. Yeah, absolutely. That is 100% correct. The problem that we have here, though, is that unlike, let's say, Bethesda, that is looking to release Starfield in the near future, right? They will make their money once Starfield is released. And if Starfield works great, they will make a lot of money.
That's also not true. There's a lot of investment that goes into that beforehand as well. People, buy these things called shares, and that's how they pay the people to create the game, because then otherwise they would have to be waiting on the next big release to make money to pay everybody, and then would have no money left to start working on the next game. There's other things that are involved in that, I know that, and that's not the only place they get their money from, but that's a big place of where they get their money from. So it's not like Bethesda just has a whole bunch of money sitting around and then they make a game and then make their money back. It's not how that works.
Money. That is a different business model than what Star Citizen has going on. CIG, Chris Roberts, they have a completely different business model which revolves around selling ships and revolves around not having much a point in finishing this game. Most of the community has understood that, yeah, you will probably never see Star Citizen completed, and as I said myself in previous videos, I have no problem with that. Now, having said all of that, having said that, I have no...
Now, I wonder what he means by completed. Out as a finished product? Completed? Where they're continuing to add more things to it on a quarterly or every 6 months or every year kind of thing? Or never finished in, as they're never going to release it as a quote-unquote product? That I would like to know his opinion on that.
No problem with this never being fully released. The problem I do have is that I just realized something about the business model that not only revolves around selling very expensive ships, which it is their right. You can sell whatever you want, people can buy whatever you want.
It's called
now,
capitalism.
The problem is that the business model not only revolves around perpetuity in terms of development, it also revolves around minimal amount of expense in actual development while monetizing and profiting as much as possible. So, what a lot of people don't understand about this game is that the amount of progress being made, the amount of content added each year is minimal.
I don't want to sound like a white knight because I'm not a white knight. I do know that there's problems with this game. The speed at which they develop is pretty slow, but at the same time, I can't think of a game. Like I said, it doesn't matter how I put this. It's going to make me sound like a white knight. The size and scope of this game has never been done before. It's never been done before. Like, how many GTA maps do you think can fit on one planet? And yet we can go to these planets, and all of you guys have seen this on stream, and the few of you guys that do play it, like Marcus and Educated Grunt, we can go down to these planets. We can go down and explore all these planets. There's caves, there's bunkers, there's quite a bit of different things that you can do down there. You can mine, you can hand mine, you can rock mine. You can get your friends together and have a tank battle. There's a lot of different things that you can do. Is it full of life and have birds and rats and all of that stuff running around all over the place and weird alien deers that you can shoot and eat for food? No. Can I see it getting to that point? Yeah, I really can see it. I don't know. I think the development is slow. I think COVID really slowed it down. Now I'm post-COVID, or I've been playing the game for just under a year, so I guess post-COVID. I'm a post-COVID backer, but I can see how COVID would have slowed things down a lot. Anyways, I'm gonna let him continue. I think that is once again a little dumb of him to say that there's no progress happening just because they want to gobble up our money, because there is progress being made. Slow, but there is progress.
It is barely minimal enough so as to keep them on the right side of the law. What I mean by this is if CIG would not make a minimal amount of progress each year, this would really truly be a scam. They would just take your money and not do anything with it. They just sell you ships for a game that they're not truly developing. So as to stay on the safe legal side, they have to make some progress each year. How much progress? Bare bones minimal. Skeleton crew. They claim they're working on a bunch of different things, but as we all know, it's a lot about claiming to do things. It's very little about actual game development. And the proof is right here. You see it. The proof is in how much content have you seen in 2022? Very, very, very little. How much progress have you seen in, well, all year round? Very little. There's just not a whole lot of it. And that's where this, gets disappointing. I liked to think that, yeah, we are giving them money, we're financing this company, and they will give us content. Well, not so much. It is a bare bone minimal amount of progress made. Not even much content at all, really. It's just bare bones minimal progress made, and just enough so as to keep them out of jail at this point.
I don't fully agree with this, but I kind of agree with this. I got in June of 2022, and I played very hardcore for 4, 5, 6 months. They added 150 player servers, which, yes, I know in 3.18 doesn't run right at all. Siege of Orison was added. I'm trying to think. The medical beacons were added. A bunch of medical gameplay was added. Obviously, ships were added. I'm trying to think of everything else that was added in 2022. I can't remember everything that was added in 2022, but there was a lot of stuff added in 2022. I get it. We were supposed to get 3.18 in June of 2022, and it's March of 2023, and 3.18 is busted. So I can kind of get the point.
And it is sad, it's very disappointing, but the solution for this is don't give them any more money. The less money you give them, the more progress they will be inclined to make, because they...
Okay, so if they stop getting money, how are they going to continue to pay for the developers that they have working on the game? And to pay for the servers? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Give them less money. I'm not saying open up your wallets and give them thousands of dollars. Everybody needs to open up their wallet and put your money into the offering plate to the almighty Christ Roberts. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that makes no sense. Am I going to spend any more money into this game? No, I'm just shy of $200. I'm not going to do it. It was 50 to 60 of it off of gift cards. Yeah, they were. But I'm probably not going to spend any money until probably Pyro. Once Pyro comes out, I might spend some more money. But that being said, everybody just boycott CIG. Well, then for sure the game is never going to get done. This is never going to get done. I also think, and he hasn't touched on it yet, one of the biggest problems they have is they have a second game that they're developing. So they're really developing 2 games. Yeah, goddamn, that makes me sound like a white knight again. They're developing 2 separate games at the same time that they plan on implementing parts of from one game to the other game. I could only imagine the technical nightmare that is. Let's see if he even hits on that.
The more they will be forced into going into a more traditional business model for companies that make video games. The traditional business model is, yes, we need to make stuff, we need to develop an actual game, we need to deliver a game.
They've already sold Spectrum.
If we want to see money, if we want them to give us money, we need to make more of this stuff, right? That is the way in which this will only progress. If not, if we stick to this model of becoming an ATM for the CIG, for Chris Roberts, for the Chris Roberts family, right? if this becomes a business model that simply revolves around, you know, you know, hyping and hyping eternally and marketing and promising ships, and I mean, there's ships that have been sold that are in, just in concept, that have been pushed back for 5, 10 years. There's
I agree with
no
that. I
limit to
agree
this.
with
There's
that.
no end to this unless people stop giving them money for pretty much no reason whatsoever.
That's not
If
going
this
to help the
continues,
project.
I assure you, the amount of progress you'll see will never increase. It will always be stuck in perpetual development at a bare bones skeleton crew
Oh,
level.
hold on a
And
second. Hold on a second. When did this come out? 2 months ago. He's playing a patch that shows significant progress. Is it the right kind of progress? No. But he's actually, look down at the bottom. Look down at the bottom. It says test version. This is an early test build and not indicative of gameplay content of the official live server. So you know what that means? He was playing the 318 wave 2 or wave 3, and probably wave 2. You're playing this and you're saying that there's no significant changes or development. There was significant changes and development. I digress.
and nothing more. And as of right now, that's what you have. I'm playing, this is 318. What is it you have in 318? Almost nothing, really. It's just, it is concerning. At this point, it is really worrying that the amount of progress that you have in 318, it is very little. Yes, there's guys working on, the content creators, that they have their, their priorities, selling you the idea that, yeah, it's almost there, and some are more, critical than others, right? But at the end of the day, you're still looking at very little progress, and the agenda that many content.
I'm sorry, but PES is a monumental thing. Is it the right thing? I don't think so, and it's not showing us that it's a good experiment because it's breaking everything. There's too many ships, too many bottles, too many medical garments, too many guns, too many dead bodies, etc., 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 etc. And it's breaking things, it's bogging servers down. That's the only thing I can think of when it comes to why there's such a performance difference from 317 to 318. But once again, he's trying to say there's been no progress. PES, once again, I'm not a coder, I'm not a program developer, I'm not a software engineer. That has got to be, on a technical level, an absolute nightmare to try to achieve. And they're doing it. Are they doing it right? I don't know. Is it wrong? I don't know. Does it work? When it works, it's great. Is it working all the time? No, it's not. Soft death? That's a thing. The cargo grid? That's a thing. Salvage? That's a thing. The rework of scanning? It's a thing. It's progress. SBK and that gameplay loop? It's a thing. Is it the progress that this guy wants? Probably not, and that's probably why he's upset. Is it the progress that I want? Some of it, but not all of it. But I'm not running around stomping my feet saying that CIG is not making any progress. The only thing I've ever said is that I don't like their marketing, and I think the progress is extremely slow.
Creators have revolve around still, being a little bit more critical, sometimes being just downright shills, because let's be honest about that as well. You have shills making content each and every day, making content out of nothing. There is very little. Salt.
Does he not know what a shill is? Shill means that CIG is paying them. I highly doubt CIG is paying Board Gamer and Morphologist and Space Tomato, 3 of the most positive guys and most positive outlooking guys on the whole project. Are they really paying them? Or is Morphologist, Board Gamer, and Space Tomato getting more money in for CIG? The latter sounds like what's going on.
Mike and Grumpy Eye would be some of the more honest guys out there in the Star Citizen world. And they still try to make content out of thin air because, right, your channel revolves around that. So, yeah, But as you notice, I haven't been doing a lot of Star Citizen content because there's simply none. All of 2022, and given that it's a new channel and that I'm
Yeah,
just
they do.
covering Star Citizen this last year, there's more of the legacy stuff that I address. But other than that, there's just not a whole lot more. And I'll be honest with you, 318 bare bones. A little bit of the relics here and there. I was just in Security Station Korea, and I cleared my crime stat. It is a little bit different, but man, I would at least expect. And one of the things that upsets me the most is because I've been honest, even posting in Spectrum, I got banned several times. Last time was for over a week. I mean, you're financing this and you're getting banned simply because you're honest and upfront about what you're
I don't
seeing
like
with
what
your
they
own
do
two eyes.
there
That is
either.
very upsetting. But wrapping this up, not taking more of your time. 318, it is, and the persistence barely there at this level. Sometimes you're surprised because stuff does persist. Sometimes you lose stuff that you've had in stations all week long, and it just goes back to a saving that it obviously was several days.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm done with it, and he's about done anyways. Are there problems with CIG, and is there problems with Star Citizen? Yeah, there is. Is there no progress not being made? There's a lot of progress being made. I say once again, is there things that they could do better? Yeah, there is things that they could do better. Gem reviews and raise guides. I'm going to add that. I do think there's things that they could do better. I do think but I think a lot of his takes were pretty disingenuous. I'm not a white knight. I'm not going to tell anybody how to spend their money. I'm not going to defend this company when they do stupid things. I will not defend the marketing. I will not defend the FOMO. I will not defend on how much some of these ships cost. But to sit there and say, I don't think Mason was coming at you educated, or grunt, educated, grunt, educated, whichever. I love Grumpy. Grumpy is fantastic. He's pretty honest about the game, but yeah, I just don't. I think this guy, Gem Reviews, I think he's being a little dishonest with a few things. Is he right on a few things? Yeah, he is. He is. He's very right on a few things. But it's a tough line. It's a tough line to walk because CIG does some really stupid things, and then there's the really good things that they do. But to say that there's no bare minimum progress, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's more than minimum progress. Have they gotten in trouble before? Yeah, they have. Do I like the fact that they have concept ships sitting in there for 5 and 10 years? No, I don't. But let's say I don't want to keep this going too much longer. But let's say they put out. Let's say they put out the Polaris. If you don't know what the Polaris is, it's a capital ship or subcapital ship that's got, I believe, 4 hard points for size 20 torpedoes. I shoot size 9s out of my little Eclipse in one shot hammerheads. People are going to be freaking out when PvPers and when pirates get a hold of a Polaris and start shooting at them. They're going to freak out. Freak out. They're going to absolutely freak out. And there's no way to start. Like, what are you going to do with a size 20 torpedo in this game? Anyways, like, I understand. Yeah. So I understand his concern with the game, and I understand his wanting for the game to be better because I want the game to be better. I, I I want the game to be better. I really do. But telling everybody to stop buying ships and to stop giving them money is not going to make the game get done faster. It's just not. It's just not. It's not gonna help the situation. It's like saying, we need more defense and better defense for our country. Okay, how do we do that? Take away all the money. How's that gonna work? How's that gonna work? There's no logic to that. I'm not saying he's wrong on every opinion, on every account, and every opinion that he has here, because he's not wrong. Do I disagree with some of it? I do. I do. Just like I disagree with Ray's guides. I think opening your video in the first 2 minutes and calling PvPers psychopaths and what do you call us? The computer equivalent of taking our toys and kicking over the table. That's once again that was a pretty harsh take, and I don't think he's ever played in one bit of PvP, especially when he suggests a Carrick with a Pisces to jump in and be an anti-pirate ship. That's just ludicrous. With the ships that are out there right now, the people that are going to be taking part in piracy, they're going to just orbit around you and shoot you to shoot the crap out of you, and you're going to be in trouble. But anyways, those are my hot takes for the night. Sorry I didn't play any tonight. That Ray's guide really kind of made me scratch my head at lunch, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna save the rest of this for the guys, and plus I wanted to chill with you guys tonight. I could have made this into a video, but I'd rather chill with you guys, have a good time, and hear what you guys have to think. Tomorrow I think I'm gonna be playing some Overwatch. So JT, if you'd like to join us, join me. You're more than welcome to. If any one of you guys has Overwatch, you're more than welcome to join too. Just leave me a comment in the comment section, and I'll get to it and I'll add you. Yeah, it's been a good night, guys. It's been a good night. I do not play squad. I'm trying to not just do video gaming all the time because it's fun to do, but I want to engage with you guys and I want to hear other takes that other people have on Star Citizen. It's not going to be an all the time thing. This is going to be like a every couple of week thing to maybe once a month type thing where I take a hot take from somebody else and dissect it and give you my opinion on their opinion. As I said, I'm not against any of these guys having their opinion. I can think their opinions are dumb, but I'm not against their opinion. I have not played Squad. It's Squad. The games that have been on my radar as of late have been Squad, Hell Let Loose, and Escape from Tarkov. But there's a poll in my community section on YouTube that I did a while ago, and The Last of Us won. So, unless that poll has changed, there's going to be a night to 2 nights a week that The Last of Us will be streamed once that game comes out for PC. I have it in my shopping cart. All I gotta do is hit add, so I'm ready to go on that. Yeah, I'm pole dancing. You really want that, don't you, JT? Yeah, Call of Duty is too arcadey for tactical approach. Now, these guys will. yeah, Call of Duty is a joke, in my opinion. There's the only Call of Duty version that I really like playing right now is DMZ, and even then, I don't play it very often, and I've never streamed it. DMZ is good fun though. That's about the one version, the only version I can stomach of Call of Duty right now. I like Star Citizen. These guys have seen me do it on stream, where we've gone in and either tactically removed somebody from a bunker and extorted them, or I was bored one night and inserted myself into Jumptown, drove there, and then for the next hour and a half punished a crew of about 10 or 12 people with a sniper rifle, and they didn't find me until I let them find me. That was good fun that night. What was even better is after I, because how I let them find me is I tried to bum rush the inside of the facility, which I knew I was going to die, but it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I needed to go to bed, and that was the best way I could think of ending it, was to just go out in a blaze of glory, and they tried to lie about it. They really tried to lie about it, and they got. I'm not sure if it made it on stream or if I ended the stream, but we talked shit on stream a little bit, and then after stream, after I ended the stream, and I posted my links in chat, and they shut up really fast. You know what? As soon like, look, guys, I hate saying this. I really hate saying this. But once 318 is fixed, you're going to see a lot more shit like that. I already know what ships I'm going to go for. I'm halfway there on one of them. Once I get that ship, it's going to be nothing but being able to make even more money faster. So I'll be able to get to the 3-4 ships that I want very quickly. And it's going to be nothing but PvP shenanigans, like the jump town, like the bunker busting, like air-to-air piracy, and that's pretty much what you're going to be seeing on a nightly basis, unless I'm too tired or I'm too wiped out or there's not enough people on, in which case we'll have a chill night and I'll go and rock mine, and I might have to deal with a pirate, or I might go Quantanium mine, and guess what? I might have to deal with a pirate or some psychopathic PvPer, as that one guy said. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be, oh man, this is going to be a good time. I did tip them a few times, and they had no idea. What's that movie called? The one with Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. What's that guy's name? Jack Swagger. I don't know. Whatever that guy's name is in that movie. I was doing it to them. Like, they had no idea. I'd shoot, drop a guy, move, shoot, drop another guy, move, shoot, drop another guy. Oh man, good fun. Bum rush that guy on his ship, killed him. That was fun too. He had no idea what was coming. Bob Lee Swagger, yeah. Dude, these guys had no clue. They had no clue. Yeah, I know. Bob Lee Swagger. I was close. Jack. I said Jack. I was thinking Jack Reacher. But yeah, they had no clue where to look. And a couple of times I hit, like, I missed. And like, look, I wasn't 100% accurate. If I was, I wouldn't be here playing this video game. I'd be like playing, like, I don't know, like some other crazy game and have a bazillion viewers because I'm that good. But that's just not how it works out for me. But there was a few times I missed, and they definitely knew where that shot came from. But they all went running and scattering, and by the time they poked their head back out, I'd already moved to a different position, and they were eating a bullet from somewhere else. So it was a good time, man. It was a good time. But you guys have a great night. I'm going to end the stream here. JT, if you're still there, I'll be adding you tomorrow, And let's get JT on the stream tomorrow. How would you guys think about that? JT. We'll get him on the stream. You gotta talk more though, JT. But you guys all have a great night. And in Mason's case, you have a great morning. To anybody else out there still watching, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. 318 is going to be a hell of a ride, guys. I'm telling you straight out. Once they get that fixed, damn, it's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. But do you have a coffee cup in your hand while doing it, Grunt? You guys have a great night. Thanks for joining the Tooniverse, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Tooniverse. You guys be easy. Peace. That's how you do it, Grunt. But I'm on a pop diet.